go.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Tug of War.
Welcome to the Tug of War. We're still in our
Temporary space.
temporary
That's true.
studio. But, dude, it don't matter. The truth is the truth, and we're tugging into more.
Oh, that's right. And we look good here. I like it.
Okay, all right. I'll take that.
There's no distractions. You just get to see our good-looking mugs.
Even though Whitney told me that she needed to sit in that chair because it could not handle me. She said that chair is too broken for you. And then she went like this. And that was very shameful and embarrassing for myself.
It just slowly sinks throughout the conversation. And so I just thought, I will slowly get shorter. I'm already shorter. It's fine.
It's conversation
between two friends
that are talking about how we feel this draw in us.
Yeah.
That God has more.
This tug,
for
this
us.
tension, this fight to get from where we are to where we want to be, where we know we're called to be, where we're supposed to go. We're not there yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You just got back from NYC.
And New York, yeah, it was great.
You eat some pizza?
100%. That's kind of almost only, it's not the only thing we ate there, but it's one of the few because we ate it like 4 times.
Yeah, hello.
It's like the best. You don't remember the place on Stone Street?
Yep.
Golly, it's so good. I want to eat it right now.
I want some good pizza.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Why, like, you got New York style, you got Chicago style. Why does Texas not have a...
Because they just talk about barbecue all the time.
Well, hello. Welcome to my state. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know where I need to go is Philly.
Philly cheesesteak?
I've never been to Philly, but I'm like a kind of a Philly guy.
Yeah, you would fit there.
I need a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, I've had one. I've been there and I had one. It's good.
Okay.
All right, what's up?
So really excited about today's conversation because it's one that recently hit us in the face like a baseball bat.
Yeah, like, we are terrible at this. We are not paying attention to this.
So we have, our church has a mentor.
Yeah.
That like speaks in our life.
He's not a Jesus man. I mean, he loves God.
Yeah.
But he's not a Bible like church mentor. He is a businessman who is highly successful in development and things like that.
Real estate investments.
And so he gives us wisdom about all kinds of things. And every time we meet with him, we think, why does he be nice to us and want to meet? Like, he will meet with us and he's super kind. Why? But then every time we also think, golly, I'm so thankful he did, because he'll say one thing that just hits us and shifts things like crazy.
Yeah. So we were meeting with him about some like investment land stuff.
Yeah. Building.
But then we just started talking about like how we were getting ready to take a break and a sabbatical, which is what we talked about last episode. If you didn't see it,
that's true.
Check it out.
And we were both really weary while meeting with him.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said a sentence to us. Well, he said a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
But he said a sentence to us that, dude, was so good.
Yeah.
He brought up this idea to us of your leadership presence.
Yeah.
Meaning that when you're a leader and you walk into a room, you bring with you a presence.
Everywhere you go, everywhere you walk,
you bring an aura.
Your presence walks in with you. And whether you like it or not, it's there.
Yeah.
And you have an opportunity to either be aware of it and shift it, or just let it be its own monster and run wild.
And I don't all the way remember in our mentor conversation how this got brought up. What I remember in my imagination is Whitney was talking about how horrible I was acting of late, of how exhausted I had been of late, and how I was stressing everybody around me out. And then he gave me this antidote. What happened? Or is that just my brokenness and insecurity?
Your broken insecurity that you think that's what happened. He was saying to us, we were asking him some questions, and he was telling us, as the leader, like the leaders of your organization in the roles that we play, he said, these are the things you need to be focused on in the next year. You only need to focus here. You don't need to give focus here. You need to invest in your team, and if they need other people to help them do what they're called to do, let them go. But y'all two need to focus here. These are things you need to focus on. And we were like, okay, yeah, because crap, we don't always do that. We try to get in the middle of things over here. And he was like, well, let's talk about your leadership presence. And we were both kind of like, what does that mean? And then he was like, well, I don't know you guys that well because I've only met with you like in these like 1 to 3 hour blocks.
We've now had a couple dinner parties together.
So now BFFs. But back then, and he's like, so let me just tell you what I think. And he like tells us who he sees and perceives you to be, and who he sees and perceives me to be based on the leadership presence we bring to the table when we're just sitting with him. Yeah. And he was 90% spot on.
Yeah, it was like taking an Enneagram. Like, this ain't going to be right. And it's like, oh crap.
He's exactly right. And so So like, but the part that he couldn't do for us was the more negative. Like he talked about you, that you are confident and that you walk in and you're not afraid, you're bold, you're willing to say hard things. You can say it with a smile or you can say it very directly. Like he talked about me, that I come in also confident, but confident of who I am and not trying to be somebody else. And that I'm loyal and like very like a caretaker. He talked about our like relational presence of like, you guys seem to be very comfortable and like okay and confident in how you handle yourselves, all the things. It was really positive and kind. But when he left, we were like, yeah, but he doesn't know us all the way.
He doesn't know the bad.
So he couldn't call out some of the negative things. And so this is where your insecurity has now come in.
Yeah.
What we did then was, because we are the way that we are, we went and sat and told each other our negative leadership presences.
Yeah. So no, we said, so what are we doing as leaders that are hindering
those we're leading,
the organization,
and those around us? Yeah.
And it was great for us to do. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about what leadership presence is. Right. And then let's we'll talk about what big losers we are and all the things we say to ourselves.
Perfect. No, it's perfect. Okay. So leadership presence is what you said first. We'll start there.
We've all had a leader that when they walk into the room, everything changes.
Well, you know, like
it either changes up or down.
Today we were out at lunch. We came back, and some of the team was in their like admin offices talking and laughing about something. And like Pastor Philip, our worship pastor, he's like sitting there, like, or standing there, like on the door frame, and he turns around and his whole face changes because we walked in the room. We're like, wait. What are you talking about? Now, it was just because they were laughing about something, whatever. They told us a joke, but we've all experienced that as leaders when you walk in the room and you can tell everyone else just changed the topic or changed. Or we've all been people who, when a leader walks in the room, you're like, never mind, no more laughing, or let's get serious, or get back to work.
Yeah. There's a presence. There's a leadership aura presence, something that shifts, and it can either be up or down, happy or sad.
Positive, negative.
Positive, or, oh no, did I make a mistake?
And yes, anxious or like stress inducing.
Comfortable to performance.
Right. That's good.
That's the piece. It's like, I remember, well, it still happens, as we'll have younger people that are preaching like on Wednesdays and things. They don't want me to come.
No, they're terrified of you being there.
But I'm like their biggest champion, and I'm like, no, here, you can have all my sermons and just preach it.
Do whatever you want.
But there's just a presence that every person brings. To whatever circle that they're in.
Well, you know, like when you go to a party or you go to somewhere new and like you walk in, you don't know anyone, that friend that you love that walks into the room and like brings the party, you're like, yes, I'm so glad that they're there. But the same can be true as a leader, positive or negative. And what we recognized is that we do not want to be leaders who, when we walk in the room, people feel afraid or nervous, anxious, or even just like, oh man, they're here. And so we had to take a look at our own to help.
So what, like, here's an example that we realized for me was one of the things I need to be, and it's not only good or bad, it's also that it is there.
Right. Just the awareness that
it's there. Just the awareness that it's a thing. So like for me, what I have historically been doing is on Sundays, I get to the Willie Pig, to the church where we have service. I get there real early. So I'll get there at 6:30 or 7, and I'll have my laptop and I'll open it up on the corner of the stage. And I'll stand there and I'll walk through my notes. That's what I'm doing. But to everybody else in the room, they're still in cue to cue. So they're still practicing the songs. They're still getting the slides right and the music tune and all the things. And what's happening is that just because I'm there in that place while they're still trying to hit all the right notes and get the band all lined out, I'm creating a little bit of anxiety in everybody, just because if something goes wrong and I look at the screen or I'm looking around or they see me text message, they think maybe it's about them.
Well, your type A personality is fix it, solve it, pick it up. And so because you are that way, your body responds that way. That's part of the presence that we were having to identify. Is it's not necessarily what we're even thinking or feeling. But our body does respond sometimes in ways that we're not even aware of. And so your intensity to respond quickly and efficiently and whatever might respond in a way that feels more intense than it is.
Some people view intensity as upset.
Yeah.
I'm not upset. I'm rarely upset. But that intensity or my willing to help and fix.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll jump in. I'll help unload the trailer. I'll
Right.
help. But then it just creates some insecurity in
Yeah.
people. And so like, that's just an example that we
Right.
realized that my leadership presence might be better suited in other places.
Yeah.
That maybe the best place for me to walk through my message is not leaning on the stage.
Right.
Because then the new people on the worship team feel like I'm there to watch them.
Right.
I'm not there to watch them.
Yeah. And like for me, so in talking it out, I was like, okay, tell me what's up. Like, what do I do? And some of my,
It's like when your breath's bad. Your
Okay.
breath is so bad
All right.
that it just ruins everybody's
It's
experience.
ridiculous. And so it's not even what that means.
It's her greatest fear is that she smells bad.
Anything smells bad of me. That
so
would
one of
be
my
the
favorite
worst.
things to do is tell Winnie that she smells bad.
And so you smell like barbecue. Oh God, that would be the worst. If
That's
you
me.
said that. I know.
I'll buy barbecue perfume.
No, won't. It's the worst. It's terrible. For me, is the like my urgency comes out in a more like frantic way,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I don't mean for it to.
You're
because
not panicked.
I'm not panicked at all. In
But-
fact, in those moments, I'm one of the people you want on your team to help you solve it. But if I'm not aware,
Yeah.
I can be frantic in my response. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna do this.
it's because of that, and
It's
you
because
have
Easton told me I have to stop doing this on the table.
because you have
'cause
tambourines. You have tambourines mounted on your wrist,
Right.
And so the tambourines on your
Yes.
bracelet start shaking,
and everyone's like, "Whoa, what's happening?"
and so, but that's a part of your personality.
Yeah.
That speed,
yeah.
and my intensity is a part of my personality.
Yeah.
My facial features, my
Right.
body type.
Yeah.
Is that like? Is Truston going to punch that guy?
Yeah.
No, he's actually loving
Only
and
if he
speaking
needs to.
speaking encouragement
Right,
into him.
right,
but I'm
right.
speaking encouragement, and it looks
Very intense.
potentially violent.
Well, that day and all the time when we go to eat, like when we're working together
Oh.
out in public, if we're at like lunch and working, you'll say like, people think that we're in a fight because we'll
No.
be like, yes, no, or and then I yell.
Whitney and I, anytime we go to lunch together, we both have our laptops open.
Yes.
Just because
Most of the time it's because we're
all
working.
y'all is crazy. And
Yeah.
so
No,
I saw Pest Truston some ladies and I was waving the restaurant. Okay.
Okay.
So we have our laptops open because we're working on something.
Yes.
But then she gets all intense and she starts yelling and I say, Whitney, all these people think you're divorcing me right now. That's what they think is happening.
because we get excited and intense and loud. But
Okay, so what
that
we've
is
learned,
the presence that we carry.
yeah. So what we've learned is that when we're around our team or around the church, we have to be aware of the vibe that we can put off.
Yeah.
And if we don't want to put that off there, either remove ourselves or lean the other direction.
Yeah.
And become an encourager.
Yeah.
I put on blinders many times. I get in work mode.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm in work mode, I'm focused on what I'm doing. That's
Yeah.
the only thing I'm focused on. I'm not focused on any other people, but the other people are focused on me and what I think and what I want them to
Right.
do. And so I have to take those blinders off. And it's not being fake. It's being loving to the people
It's
that are
being
around
aware.
me.
Yeah. Because you are a loving person. It's just that in that moment, in that way, you're, you click into the work mode. For me, the slow down to like see and to say hello is not always what I do in a work moment environment. And we were, so again, this was in the season when we had not yet rested. So not only were we carrying this presence, we were exacerbated in the presence we were carrying.
Yeah.
And we were recognizing, oh crap, we haven't taken the time to rest. Therefore, we're probably bringing the most intense level of this leadership presence into every space that we're walking in.
Right.
And we haven't been aware of it. And the only reason, though, we were able to address it and start to work on it together, because I really think we've been doing, I mean, I think we could pull our team and they would say we were doing a good job. I think we have made some great shifts of like the presence that we're carrying in the room. But the only way we were able to do that is because we were willing to sit down together and be humble enough to say, will you tell me?
What am I doing? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Or what? Not even wrong.
No, what is it? It wasn't easy to say to each other.
Sometimes in our effort to help,
Yeah.
we're actually doing damage. So like for me, I'm an event guy.
Mm-hmm.
My whole ministry before I became lead pastor, I ran and did big events.
Mm-hmm.
So now anytime as a church we do big events,
Right.
I just have a built-in 15-year checklist of things.
Right.
And so I'll find myself in staff meetings sometimes asking very detailed questions
Yeah.
about, did we figure this out? But what that actually does is make those people that are in charge of that feel like I don't trust them.
Right.
It's not that I don't trust them. I'm curious.
Yeah.
And I like
These
the
are
event
the things I
details.
care and know about.
And so
You're
like,
not asking the creative team if they got a new cord for the plug for the computer thing because you don't know about none of that.
No, but I know about how many cookies we should have to pass out on Mother's Day.
Right.
I know about how many cars are in the train that we rent and how many bounce houses.
Right.
And so sometimes I would find myself asking these things that maybe we should not only call leadership presence, but leadership weight. That I have to be aware that the weight of my voice sometimes just doesn't need to be said.
Yeah.
I don't need to say anything. I need to stop asking questions about where the photo booth is going to go at the after party.
Right. Well, one, because your brain needs to be focused on things way different than that.
And I fully trust the team.
And two, you know and trust they got it, but it makes them feel like you don't when you ask it.
Yeah.
But the only way we were able to arrive to all of that was by sitting down and going, okay. And like, you're always the, what is the word? Like you always take one for the team. Like you're always like, okay, I'll go first. Do me first. Like you're always like, I'll go.
Yeah.
So
Stab
me first.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I went first and like told you the things like, hey, yeah, probably this, or hey, probably that. And like, the people around you know the answer.
Here's a perfect example.
They would give the answer. We just aren't always willing to ask it.
Here's an example that Whitney told me that day. So I love preaching with props.
Yes.
And so regularly I have a absurd amount or large amount of props. We're actually just finished up a marriage series where we have couches, 4 rugs, 3 tables, cookbooks, mixers.
36 cookbooks.
Then we have a giant wall. This last week we had a barbecue pit and a microwave.
Yeah.
Like all of these pieces.
Yeah.
And so what we have to do is we have to coordinate all that stuff getting on stage during a 30-second intro video or something. And so what Whitney brought up to me is she said, sometimes when the person who's in charge of that or the team is practicing getting that out, you said, you're right in the mix.
Yeah.
And I'm right in the mix. No, you grab this corner of the couch. No, bring the rug over here. Well, hey, you shouldn't, this is too heavy for you. You should carry this. And I'm helping.
Yeah.
But what I wasn't all the way aware of is the weight of my voice.
Well, and the presence of, because on that day, you're already a heightened level of, we have to hurry. We only have so much time in this walkthrough and we've got to do it quickly and efficiently. And so it was coming out more intense and direct than you meant for it to, because you're just in work mode.
But that's not angry or mad.
No, on your insides you weren't, but on your outsides that's what it looked like. Because
to people that don't know me.
Yeah, because they're just like, oh, and so these are just volunteers. And I'm like, hey, they love you, want to serve, they're here, and they're going to figure it out. But if you just take a step back, they'll probably figure it out faster because you make them nervous and am I picking up the right thing? And oh God, because they just want you to be happy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And when you can really admit that you have a leadership presence and what are the pros and the cons of it, then you can start to make some real simple shifts.
Yeah.
So now what I do, instead of getting to the building at 6:30 or 7 to walk through my notes, is I walk through my notes at home.
Right.
I walk through my notes. I get my head around what I'm preaching. Then I can show up on Sunday and I can be in full happy Truston mode instead of don't talk to me, I'm studying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, no, I think it's really good that we understand we have the presence. What can we do about it? Are we willing to adjust it? That's the thing. Mm-hmm. You could have very easily gone, well, that's just the way I am.
That's how I want to do it. I like
be.
props. I'm going to manage this.
I want them to be afraid. Like, I'm
well,
serious.
There are those
guys. You're not that guy, but I'm saying there are lots of ways, but instead you're like, I want to have the best leadership presence that I can bring. I want people to feel excited, comfortable, and happy, because what we found is when that's true, people work harder. I think people think, oh, I want an intense, scary leadership presence, because then they'll work hard and then they'll get it done. No, they won't. They'll just quit and leave. We want them to have the best experience working with and for us, that they want to stick around. And so we had to be aware of it. We had to listen to it from each other. And then again, our context is the Bible. And so the verse in Proverbs, that wounds from a friend can be trusted. Mm-hmm. We have to regurgitate that verse in our minds and hearts all the time. Yeah. Because I would much rather you, who I know loves me, is for me, and trusts me, stab me with truth, mm-hmm. than somebody else that I don't. Because those people I already got plenty of those.
Yeah.
And so, being willing to sit down with somebody that you love and trust and say, hey, what am I doing that could be shifted or better or adjusted so that my presence in the room, whether it's in a department, whether it's in an organization, whether it's in your home, like good grief, if we can talk about that in our home with our spouses, like with our families, for my kids, golly, there's been times like if I would just walk in and listen instead of try to solve it, you know, then we can shift and tug into more, because I really believe that we've taken already massive steps forward just since we've been aware of our presence and the presence
huge.
we've had to bring our team together and to have unity and to have a better experience.
And we're missing nothing for it.
Not at all.
Like, it's not like I've stopped doing any of those things and there's a bunch of others.
Oh yeah.
And then a giant ball has been dropped and there's been an epic failure.
Right.
You know, and what you said is for the kids is true.
Yeah.
Like me being more aware of my leadership presence, as it comes to my career, has also been really beneficial as it comes to me and being a father.
Right.
Because with the same intensity I say move the prop, I also say clean your room.
Right.
And so becoming aware of my aura, presence that I put off, it helps me understand how to temper that in the right moments.
Yeah, for me, I'm in this weird season where my kids, I live with them, I work with them, I see them consistently in my life. And like now as they're becoming adults, like it's too late for me to help my 7-year-old children because they're not 7 anymore. But this adult season that we're stepping into, like I'm having to be aware of it, but yet it's making such a huge difference that I'm not being the same as I was before. Like, no, change it, fix it, do it. Intensely, hurry up. I'm still going to. We're still gonna fall into the bend of what is our natural.
Right.
But we can now, in self-awareness, change it and adjust it in real time.
We just went on a trip with a group of pastors.
Yes.
And some of the pastors there have vastly different personalities.
Vastly.
Than we do. And so you might relate to kind of Whitney and I's vibe of intense, do it, push it. But then maybe you were on the like, yeah, man.
So cool. No
What's
pasta
up?
nada.
Let's smoke a blunt.
Not that.
Where's some coffee?
They better not smoke a blunt if
I don't know.
pastors.
Some of these dudes, I'm like, man, you are not driven at all.
Welcome to the Tug of More, everybody.
I'm saying, like, you've got to be aware of what it is for you.
Yeah.
We've just been transparent with some of ours.
Yeah.
But if your leadership presence is laxed, unengaged,
we've all had those people too that we've worked around.
Then you have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
If you're rocking your flip flops while everybody else is unloading the trailer,
right?
Like, then there's a
hurry the junk up.
Then you have to be aware of that presence too, because what that does is it brings everybody down for another reason. Like, oh, if they're not doing it, then what should I run for?
Yeah,
I'm not going to run if they're late.
Right.
So it's just a self-awareness, examining what's going on in you, and then making some small shifts.
And then what we were saying, the humility to say, hey, because if you want to tug into more, you got to be willing to be like transparent, humble, and not get offended. Like, you have not held one sentence of what I said to you in that season against me, and I have not held one sentence of it against you. I'm grateful that you said what you said. Like, and again, we both did it with tenderness and love. It wasn't like I said, bro, you're so intense, it scares the junk out of everybody. We did it the right way, the kind way, but it still wasn't necessarily easy.
Like Whitney and I, we both interrupt people.
Including each other constantly.
When we first started the podcast, we had people telling us to stop interrupting each other, and we're like, we can't.
It's just going to be
so
what it is.
But when we realized that we can do that with other people, just the other day in staff meeting, we got one of the greatest ideas. From somebody on our team who's very soft-spoken.
And Marisa, shout her out. She's the best.
Dude,
I was so proud. It was
so
such a great.
Where normally she's not going to jump in and tell everybody else to shut up. But the reason that idea came out is because we both slowed down. We've both learned to shut up a little bit.
Yeah.
And me just keep saying, does anybody else have any other ideas?
What else? Anyone else have a thought?
What else? I don't know. I don't know what to do. Anybody else?
And like, our personality does not want to sit in a quiet space of like cricket.
Yeah.
It kind of makes us feel like, are we losers in this meeting? But
in that moment, what she needed was to be asked again, and then just 2 seconds of silence. Yeah. And then, I have an idea. And she literally said, our whole staff had been brainstorming something for 30 minutes.
The third time. And the third meeting of it.
Third meeting. And we're all leaning the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And then she says, I have an idea. She gives this idea. And the whole, we didn't even talk about it as a staff.
No.
We were all like, yep.
We literally, the entire room went, that's a better idea. Boom. And like we all worked it out that quickly. She actually brought it up as an alternative if what we were doing wasn't going to work. And then instead we're like, we don't need it to be the alternative. Right. It is the answer.
But I think it's because I'm sitting in my chair backwards like AC Slater in the staff meeting.
Yeah. Instead of...
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you don't know who AC Slater is,
then I'm sad for you.
Learn your history.
Yeah, I'm sad for you.
And so like, because it's now a lighter environment.
A more personable environment.
Than a like bullet pointy...
Yeah. No, it's true. Good job. See, good job. We did it.
We did it.
We're doing good.
Guys, leadership presence. So you might want to ask somebody what your leadership presence is.
This is what I keep going back to. I keep looping it in to try to say it.
You might want to ask somebody. Probably don't ask your spouse. Probably don't ask your spouse.
No.
But guess what? But guess what? If there's other people that really love you, they're going to say the exact same thing that your spouse would say. It's just if your spouse said it, it would probably tick you off.
Yeah. No, it's true. We say that all. Like you need someone.
If Aaron came to you and said, "Oh yeah, too intense," and I wish you quit jingly bracelets,
I would be like, how dare you? but the truth is, someone that you're willing to sit with, that you know has your best interest in mind, and then try actually doing what they say instead of I know what I'm doing.
Then give them permission. Are we going too long?
No.
Oh, then give them permission to correct you in real time.
Yes.
So.
Oh yes, this is good.
So Whit has permission, and a couple of people on our team have permission for me to bring correction to me.
Yeah.
If I'm getting a little bit, if I need to just not be involved.
Yeah.
I feel kind of like a jerk, like we're painting this picture that I'm walking around my church, do it. That's not what I'm saying.
No, because I said that's not what's in your heart. It's the intensity of what was coming out. Stop it. And that's not true. And you have been, we already have shared it in the rest moment. Like you've been in a season, we've been in a season of exacerbation. And we were like, we do not want to come across.
Yeah.
We're okay with us knowing that we're that way, but we do not want everyone to feel that pressure and weight that we've been feeling. So we've been intentional. That's not what you were not a punk. Stop it.
Yeah.
But also, what you're saying is so good. We're about to go to a conference and an event with our entire team. And you and I both just talked about this yesterday. We didn't talk about it as it related to leadership presence, but it is what it is. It is that. Like you have a way that you have fallen into, a default that you have fallen into sometimes in conferences and moments like that. And I have a default way that I have fallen into. And because we've been working on our health and emotional eliteness, we said to each other yesterday, hey, we're going to this conference. You're not going to act like you said, I'm not going to act like that. And I was like, right. And I'm going to become this person. You're like, no, you're not going to. And then we said, but we're going to help each other.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what you're going to do. You know what you're going to do, which is why we believe that friendship is so important, but also that you just have someone that you're not going to get ticked off when they bring it up, but let them have a word that they can say to you that will help. Because I promise you this experience, we haven't gotten there yet, so I don't know, but I bet it's going to be way better than it's been before because we're going to be able to say to each other, hey, you're good. Hey, no, this, hey, and it will adjust in real time and it will be better. Yeah.
It just means that if you're an intense personality and you have to tell people around you, hey, if you see me standing on the edge with my arms crossed and my eyebrows furrowed, come and tell me to...
Hey, laugh. Hey,
pull your junk together. Why are you so mad? And then what I'll say is, I'm not mad.
No, but don't say it like, why are you so mad? You just say, hey, come have fun. Yeah. Like that. It's like that simple. Or if you're the other extreme.
A rattle.
If you're like super lazy or like pulled back, or like we have people that we know that love that like in big groups get kind of quiet and pulled back. No, join the group. Come on.
Yeah.
Or just some little like, touch, tap and nudge. What's the word? Nudge. That like makes you snap out of it.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's good.
Guys, we want to help you in all the different ways of your leadership. We want you to be advancing and charging in the more that God has for you. It's so good. I'm really glad that we had somebody in our life that was willing to say, hey, evaluate your leadership presence.
The reason he was willing is because we asked.
That's true.
And so you have to be willing to ask.
Yeah.
And then you have to be willing to hear.
Yeah.
what they say.
He also said something else to us that we need to do the next episode.
What?
I'm not going to say it.
Oh, okay. Super good.
But
y'all,
you're going to know what it is.
okay, I bet I do, but I can't think it right now. We love y'all. Follow, like, share, all the things, subscribe.
If you have
What
a
else?
question, we really want to answer it.
Yeah, we wanna help.
If it's something that you're scared to ask it anyways, man.
Who cares?
We're all just in
We're
this thing.
literally up here just telling you how terrible we are.
We're in this thing together, and we want to help you step
right.
into all the more that God has for you. So ask us. We'd love to talk about it.
Love y'all.
See ya.